We now have the direct emails from Donald Trump Jr. that Democrats are claiming is proof of collusion with the Kremlin to get Donald Trump elected. Now, Donald Trump Jr. actually released these emails himself, and still people are saying, well, I mean, but look at the content of it. It's clear that this is some sort of an admission. This requires legal action, and it requires it immediately. So let's go through some of it here. I'll break it down. He's talking with a guy named Rob Goldstone, who's a British-born former tabloid reporter and entertainment publicist. And Goldstone claims to be writing on behalf of a Russian pop star named Amin Agalarov. So here are the emails. Good morning. Eamon just called and asked me to contact you with something very interesting. The Crown Prosecutor of Russia met with his father, Aras, however you pronounce that, this morning, and in their meeting offered to provide the Trump campaign with some official documents and information that would incriminate Hillary and her dealings with Russia and would be very useful to your father. This is obviously very high-level and sensitive information, but is part of Russia and its government's support for Mr. Trump, helped along by Aras and Eamon. What do you think is the best way to handle this information? And would you be able to speak to Eamon about it directly? I can also send this info to your father via Rona, but it is ultra-sensitive, so wanted to send to you first. Best, Rob Goldstone. And Trump Jr. responds, thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. I am on the road at the moment, but perhaps I just speak to Eamon first. Seems we have some time, and if it's what you say, I love it, especially later in the summer. Could we do a call first thing next week when I am back? Best, Don. So, there you go. There's the key part of it. You have this guy saying, hey, look, I got some information that's going to incriminate Hillary, and it's from high-level Russian officials, so do you want it? And Donald Trump Jr. is like, yeah, sure, let's set up a meeting. And then later on, they actually had a meeting in Trump Tower. They go on in the emails to bring that up, and it was Donald Trump Jr., Paul Manafort, Trump's former campaign advisor, if not the head of the campaign, and Jared Kushner that were in that meeting. So does that constitute collusion with a foreign government? And is that a crime? Well, look, I'm going to ask you guys. Here are the facts as we know them. And by the way, we have no clue if there actually was any real dirt on Hillary and if they were able to run with it, because there's reason to believe that this guy, Mr. Goldstone, who sent this email to Trump Jr., that he's kind of like a fraud. He was taking pictures of the pop star or whatever at Trump Tower and posting them on his Instagram. So just kind of like a bullshitter, it appears like. But then the argument people make is, well, that doesn't really matter because you're still attempting to collude with a government to get dirt on your opponent, and you can't do that. That's illegal. Remember the words I just spoke. Attempting to collude with a foreign government to get dirt on your opponent, you can't do that. That's illegal. That's the argument that's being made. Okay. So pound the gavel, right? Oh, wait. What do we have here? Ukrainian efforts to sabotage Trump backfire. Kiev officials are scrambling to make amends with the president-elect after quietly working to boost Clinton. That's strange. Donald Trump wasn't the only presidential candidate whose campaign was boosted by officials of a former Soviet bloc country. Ukrainian government officials tried to help Hillary Clinton and undermine Trump by publicly questioning his fitness for office. That's not all, though. They also disseminated documents implicating a top Trump aide in corruption and suggested they were investigating the matter only to back away after the election. And they helped Clinton's allies research damaging information on Trump and his advisors, a Politico investigation found. Let me repeat that. They helped Clinton's allies research damaging information on Trump and his advisors, a Politico investigation found. What's the claim that's being made against the Trump campaign? You cannot work with, you cannot collude with a foreign government to get dirt on your opponent. That's illegal. Well, look, I'm willing to pound the gavel on the Trump campaign now for sure. I mean, those emails do show they were working with a foreign government or people who were connected to a foreign government to attempt to get dirt on their opponent. They did it. Guilty of that. But so is Hillary and her campaign. They worked with a foreign government, Ukraine, or people who were directly linked to the foreign government to try to get dirt on their opponent, Trump. So they both did that thing. And, well, obviously, the only thing that's getting any press is the Russia connection. Why? Because it's Russia. Russia. So I've been saying it from the beginning, man, this is much ado about nothing. It really is. And also, the DNC paid opposition research firm Fusion GPS to hire a British spy who then paid Russians to get the alleged PP tape information. I'm going to repeat that again. So you had the DNC, Hillary's allies at the DNC, paid an opposition research firm named Fusion GPS. They in turn hired a British spy, and the British spy paid Russians to get the alleged PP tape information. So by their own logic, the logic of the people saying this is collusion, this is a crime, this is horrible, Hillary's guilty of it too. Her allies are guilty of it. The DNC is guilty of it. Her campaign is guilty of it in regards to Ukraine. So let's stop playing this stupid fucking game. Because here's the thing. Like, what do you think is going to happen? I'm serious. What do you think is going to happen? Everybody who's been, oh my God, Chris Hayes has been the most unsufferable douchebag on the planet in the past 3 days. All day. To Russia. I go on Twitter, Russia. I go eat a sandwich and come back. He's got 8 new tweets. Russia. They're like giddy little schoolgirls over this. They think it's like the most damaging thing ever. What do you think is going to happen, guys? What do you think is going to happen? You think Donald Trump Jr. is going to go to prison? Is that what you think is going to happen? That's a serious question. And then some people are saying it's treason. What he did was treason. How little do you know about the law? Treason, the legal definition of treason means you have to be working with the government that the U.S. is currently at war with. So it's obviously not treason. We're not at war with Russia. At least not yet. And I hope we don't go to war with Russia. But, like, what do you think's going to happen? Is Donald Trump Jr. going to go to prison? Is Donald Trump going to be impeached over this? And then you get Pence? And then what's your end game? Then you have Pence, who's equally as shitty, if not even more shitty, doing the same draconian policies. And then what? I guess the Democrats will try to tie Pence to Russia and then try to get rid of Pence. And then you get what? Paul Ryan? I mean, come on. They're wasting so much time and energy and effort and focus on this thing that has no end game. And again, don't give me the bullshit of like, well, it doesn't matter if there's no end game. It's important for the Republic. Is it really? Well, I just told you. The thing you're mad about, allegedly, is the Trump campaign worked with a foreign government to try to get dirt on their opponent, and that's not okay. The Hillary campaign also worked with the foreign government to try to get dirt on their opponent. So are you going to be objective? Are you going to have the same standard for everybody? Or are you going to continue to be a partisan hack? That's my question. Because it appears like it's almost like the less impressive the news is on this issue, the outrage is overblown that much more. Like, the less impressive the information is, the more the Democrats are like, that's it! Smoking gun! Smoking gun for what? For what? Jesus Christ, man. The only thing that is apparent that for sure the Trump campaign is guilty of here is just endless lies. That's for sure. Because what do you mean? We never spoke to anybody ever who's Russian. What are you talking? Well, that's obvious bullshit. Okay, so don't try to pull that nonsense on us. That's clear bullshit. And then also, the most important point is, if there is some sort of high-level Kremlin plot, what has the Kremlin gotten in return? What has Trump given the Kremlin? What has the Trump campaign given the Russian government? What have they given him? I'll wait, because there is no fucking answer to that, because they haven't done anything, no tangible policy benefit for them. None. There's no sanctions relief. The sanctions are still in place. The Exxon deal is still dead. So what have they gotten? What have they gotten? Nothing. They've gotten nothing. So, yeah. When I saw this news, I knew immediately the Democrats are going to go crazy over this. They're going to start flinging feces. But it really it was like 5 minutes of research, 10 minutes of research to realize, wait, hold on. The Democrats are mad because the Trump campaign tried to get dirt on Hillary from a foreign government. And they say that's illegal collusion and you can't do that. But then you find out, the Hillary campaign tried to get dirt on Trump from a foreign government. That's the same crime you say Trump is guilty of. So either they're both guilty of it, and you think both of those things should be illegal and they both should go to jail or whatever, or, it's much ado about nothing and it's actually not illegal to get dirt on your opponent from a foreign government. And then also, let's be serious here. This is the part that, nobody's bringing up. Whatever happened to evaluating whether or not that information is information the public should know? You know what I mean? That's my benchmark. When Edward Snowden released the information he released, only idiots, immediately were mad because they were like, it's illegal. What he did is illegal. It's a crime. It's bad. Well, no, why don't you look at the content of what he released to determine whether or not the public should know this? And the answer was, of course, we should know it. Same with Chelsea Manning and what she released. Oh, look, we learned that our government is massacring journalists and civilians. Seems like we should know that. Oh, she broke a law by, releasing that information, but she should have done that. So by the same token, let's say Hillary got information on Trump from a foreign government, but it's shit we should know about Trump, say an offshore bank account or something. Well, then yeah, I want to fucking know that. I want to know that. I don't give a fuck who she got it from. That's information we should know. But the opposite's also true. If Trump somehow digs up dirt on Hillary from wherever, but it's something we should know, well, then I'm going to fucking defend the fact that we got that information because we should know it. Everybody's just shutting off their mind in regards to this Russia issue. I mean, it's really embarrassing and sad to watch people who I had some degree of respect for just go down the rabbit hole. And they're being so silly. Everybody's being so silly. So, yeah. There you have it. We now know they indeed did try to get dirt on Hillary from people with connects to a foreign government, but so did Hillary. And I'm willing to guess that's very common. That's probably super common. I can't even imagine how many campaigns somebody with a connection to the UK government or the Israeli government or whatever government whispered in one of the candidates' ears, hey, just so you know, blah, blah, blah. I can't bring myself to flip out about it because I don't think it's that big a deal. And this is distracting from everything else. That's the point I find myself always coming back to, is that as you waste all of your energy on this, they think this is having such a big impact in middle America. But from the people who've actually done town halls in the middle of America, they go, oh yeah, this is having zero effect to help the Democrats. None. What people are like, I don't wake up thinking about fucking Vladimir Putin. Come on. I gotta feed my kids. I gotta keep this light bill on. I gotta pay the water bill. I gotta do all these things. And you're just running around talking about Vladimir Putin. How many ways can Trump just destroy this country? He passed a bill that has a 6% approval rating that guts our internet privacy rights. Trump's FCC right now is trying to gut net neutrality. I mean, he signed a rule that allows coal companies to pollute the waterways. He signed an executive order that says for every one new regulation we put on the books, we have to get rid of 2 regulations. Just stupid shit. I mean, escalating in Syria, escalating in Afghanistan, escalating in Iraq. The list goes on and on. His first act as president was to get rid of a tax cut for the middle class. So to raise taxes on the middle class for first-time home buyers. He gives you every opportunity. His healthcare bill is the most disastrous bill I've ever seen in my life. It guts Medicaid $800 billion. It's a giant tax cut to the rich. It gets rid of protections for pre-existing conditions and makes it optional state by state. It would kick at least 28 million people off of their health insurance. The Democrats have ammunition forever to bludgeon this horrific administration over the head, and they're using none of it. And they're getting wrapped up in hysteria and delusion, and it's just pathetic to watch.